Across different cultures, different languages, and different centuries, humans have returned to the same kinds of practices, repeating phrases, focusing attention, observing the mind. These traditions developed independently, yet they point to the same insight. What you return to shapes the mind. Modern neuroscience now confirms what experience discovered long ago. The brain changes through attention and repetition. This is the shared mechanism behind affirmations, mantras, and mindfulness. The difference is not in what they do, but in how they are approached. Mindfulness begins with awareness. It teaches you to notice thoughts, sensations, and emotions without immediately reacting. This creates space, not to change anything, but to see clearly what is already happening. Affirmations add direction. They gently introduce a chosen thought, a steady phrase, a new reference point. Not to deny reality, but to influence what is reinforced. Mantras simplify even further. They reduce language to rhythm and sound, giving attention a place to settle without analysis. Different doors leading into the same room. From the brain's perspective, they all do something very similar. They repeatedly activate specific neural networks, and what is activated repeatedly becomes more accessible. This is neuroplasticity in action, not as a concept, but as a lived process. The brain does not care which door you enter through. It only responds to what is practiced. This understanding removes confusion. You don't need to choose the perfect method. You don't need to compare approaches or commit to a belief system. You only need a practice you can return to, again and again. Because returning is the mechanism. This also explains why combining practices often feels natural. Mindfulness creates awareness. Affirmations provide direction. Mantras offer simplicity. Together, they support the nervous system and guide attention without force. And when the nervous system feels safe, the brain remains flexible. This is where learning happens. This is where change integrates, not as a dramatic breakthrough, but as a quiet shift in what feels familiar. Over time, the words you return to become easier to access. The reactions you practice become more available. The inner landscape changes not because you pushed it, but because you stayed with it. This is the part that often goes unnoticed. Change does not arrive all at once. It accumulates. It shows up in how quickly you recover, how gently you respond, how naturally new thoughts arise. And eventually, what once felt intentional begins to feel automatic. This is not self-improvement. It is self-training, not becoming someone else, but reinforcing what supports you. So whether you return through silence, through words, or through sound, the door matters less than the return itself. There is no correct pace, no finish line, only practice. And practice does not need intensity. It needs permission. Permission to be gradual. Permission to be imperfect. Permission to repeat. If you take anything from this series, let it be this. What you return to is what your brain learns. You can return gently. You can return often. And you can return without effort. Any time is a good time. Take what you need at your own pace.